Hello, everybody. Welcome to Greg's Beer Reviews. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Greg's Beer Reviews. Today, I do appreciate you stopping by. Today's beer, you might recognize this. This is Other Half Brewing's All Green Everything. Guys, I reviewed this beer a couple years ago, and it blew me away. It was a 10 beer. And I got Rico, my brother Rico sent me this one, and he writes on this 10.5% triple IPA brewed with Amarillo, Motica, Citra, and Mosaic hops. Double dry hop with Citra and Mosaic lupulin powder. And whenever they use the lupulin powder, boy, it intensifies that hop presence off the chain usually. The brewery also updated their yeast strains on this one with a fruitier variety according to Untappd. So they've used a different yeast strain on this one than the one I did a couple years ago. And he tells me I reviewed the regular version of this a few years back, and that he traded for it for a couple days ago. 4-packs run around $20, sold at the brewery, canned on 10/22/18. So today is 11/14/18. So not even a month old. So pretty damn fresh, especially when somebody can buy this and trade it and send it to somebody else, and they get it and they send it to me. So this son went through 3 different hands since it was purchased at the brewery. And I still got it, and it's less than a month old. I can't even get beers here that fresh, guys. Straight from the distributor to the store, and the shit sits on the distributor's shelf, on the distributor's warehouse. Bell's Two Hearted Ale comes to mind every time I talk about old beer. The last time we were in the beer store, the Bell's Two Hearted Ale was 3.5 months old. Left it on the shelves. Not going to buy that crap, guys. I'm just not going to do it. I don't understand why it takes that long to get it from the brewery to Virginia to the distributor, and then from the distributor to the store, and it's 3.5 months old when it shows up. How are they sending that by turtle? I don't understand. The beer distribution in the state of this part of Virginia is freaking horrendous. It is absolutely terrible. The beer distributors around here have had control of distribution for 100 years. They're more interested in selling Budweiser, Miller, and Coors than they are anything craft. And you can get fresh Budweiser, Miller, and Coors, but if it's a craft beer, it's unbelievable how long it takes from even the local breweries around here for it to show up in the store. It's not going anywhere other than the brewery to the warehouse then to the store. The beer ain't got 10 miles on it, and it's 2 months old before it shows up. What the hell's up with that? I don't understand. I really don't understand it. It's like they want you to have old beer. And I have a big problem with the distributors around here. They've had control of everything for a long time. And it's time for that to freaking cease. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. They have a stranglehold on what they want to carry. If they don't want to carry your beer, they don't have to. You're just SOL. If you're a brewery and they don't want to carry your beer, you're SOL. You're just shit out of luck. All right, guys, let's get on with this one. I'm expecting something different since they're using a different yeast on this one. But the one I had, it's got the plastic cap on it. Get that off of there. Something different since they use a different yeast. So it is time to get it into the glass. Let me jump over to Untappd to see if there's any other thing we need to talk about. They actually have it at 10.5% and 120 IBUs. IBUs off the chain there at 120, guys. So 10.5%, it's going to have some bitterness to it. And at 10.5%, it's going to have some, I don't know if I want to tell you, well, let's just leave it at that. 10.5%, it's going to have some alcohol. It's going to have some bitterness with 120 IBUs. Their description says a huge but dry triple IPA packed with Motueka, Amarillo, Citra, and Mosaic. Same thing I just read off the paper. So, it is time. Into the glass we shall go. 10.5. I don't think it's going to pour a very big head, so we're going to pour really aggressive here. And there's a swallow left in now, which we will pour before I go off camera. About a finger of head. Now look at that. Looks just like a glass of orange juice. I mean, these guys at the other half and Trillium and a lot of the other ones that are producing these beers around the country and around the world are doing an outstanding job, guys. They've got it figured out. They've done trial batches, and they are producing some world-class beers. So, let's get it to the nose. Very citrusy, guys. Has a pine, grapefruit, oranges, mango. Got a nice dankness to it, some pine. Smells absolutely delicious. And being a 10.5, I can smell the heavier malt bill in this beer. Slight hint of a little bit of alcohol on the nose. Hopefully it's not going to be too strong. When I had it a couple years ago, I found it a little boozy. So let's see what this one brings to the table. It's time. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Rico. Thank you, my brother. That is so well done. There is a hint of a little bit of alcohol in it, but it's 10.5%. I mean, it's not a porter or a stout where they can hide a lot of that with the chocolate malt and maybe even bourbon barrel aging and stuff. So it's really hard to hide that much alcohol. In my personal opinion, once it gets to the 12% and above, I think it's a little overdone. This is 10.5, so not quite there, but it is a big beer. It's a monster beer, guys, for the style. Like I said, it's been a couple years since I did the original one. It does taste very fruity. It's fairly easy drinking. And like I said on the original beer, if you're used to drinking Budweiser, Miller, or Coors, and you grab one of these, it's going to blow your palate out of your mouth. It's going to be so bitter and so boozy, you're not going to enjoy it. But if you're used to drinking these magnitude of beers, especially in this style, and you're a hophead and you like the New England style beers, you're probably going to enjoy it. I mean, it might be your final beer of the evening or your only beer of the evening, but it's a big beer. It is a big beer. You put your big boy britches on to drink these kind of beers. So. That's delicious, guys. It's absolutely delicious. I find it just as tasty as when I had it a couple years ago. And I would buy this beer regularly if I could get my hands on it. Not cheap beers to buy. They're probably between the $20 and $25 range if you're buying them at the brewery. So it's 10.5%. That's 2 beers in 1 can. So if you pay $20 for 4 of these, you're getting 8 beers for $20. So that's the way I look at it. When you get the ABV that big, you're getting 8 beers for $20. So, do the math yourself. Not too bad. Not too bad for that big of a beer. So, well, let's try out of the fridge. We're going to sip on it for a little bit. I am impressed with it, just like I was the last time. I can't tell a big difference now. I don't have the old one and the new one side by side. Of course, the old one would be malt bomb by now, but it tastes just, it's just as impressive where I'm going. It's just as impressive as it was then. No matter what yeast strain they've used, it's done very, very well. So let me sip on this, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. Got just a little left here. Awesome lacing has left on the glass. Awesome taste it's got in the glass. Awesome aromas. It's a Very, very tasty beer. But it is a 10.5%, guys. Just be aware of that. If you're drinking this and you're not at home, this one will get you into trouble. Drink responsibly, guys. I don't want to see you get hurt or hurt anybody else, any innocent people or children. This is a big beer. It does have some booziness to it, but I think it is done so well that the booziness is very well hidden. For 10.5%, this is an awesome beer, guys. It's very, very well done. I have never been disappointed from anything that Other Half Brewing is doing. They know how to brew a beer. So I would put them right up with Treehouse and Trillium, Other Half. Those would be the top three in the New England style double IPAs, single IPAs. Those are in my list. It's just my personal opinion. Those would be the top three in that list. So, with that being said, let's do the final chug on this one. We're not going to leave any of that. Every last drop. Wow. Y'all probably have figured out by now where I'm going with this beer. Anytime that I tell you that it's something that I would buy, I would purchase if it was available here, that is the biggest recommendation I can give to a beer. If I would spend my money on it, it is probably worthy for you to, if you like this style of beer. And you've had the magnitude of these beers. If you've never drank anything more than a 6%er, this will knock you down. So, with that being said, I am used to drinking these big magnitude beers. They are very tasty, and when they're done well, they are freaking awesome. And this one is done very, very well. So, imagine that. 10 for me again. We got 2 10s in a row. It doesn't happen very often, guys. It really, really doesn't. So, I appreciate everything that is sent to me from everybody. Greg, Brandon, Rico, everybody that sends me beer. There's a lot of people that send me beers, and I do appreciate every single one of them. So if you are sending me beers, I do appreciate it. There are some breweries that send me beers. I just did some 6 Point beers that the brewery has sent me, and none of them got 10s, guys. I mean, they make some really tasty beers, but not everything is going to always be a 10. So let's run over to Beer Advocate and see what they say. They have it at 4.41. Awesome numbers from those guys on this beer. And final check-in, we're going over to Untapped, and they have it at 4.29. That's in their A category as far as I'm concerned. I think it's just a tad better than that. Like I said yesterday on the beer that we did, if this doesn't blow your hair back or your socks off, maybe you're drinking the wrong style of beer. Maybe you don't like this style of beer. Maybe, I don't know what, too boozy, too this, too that, too whatever. I'm just giving you my honest opinion, guys, because I am a super big fan of this style of beer, the New England IPAs and double IPAs. And once you get to the 10%, I consider this a triple. And that's what they're calling an Untapped IPA triple. That's not a recognized style, but once you get above the 10%, I consider single IPAs up to the 8%. 8 to 10% in my book. This is just my book. Or doubles. And once you get above the 10%, they're triples. That's how I consider them. That's not what a lot of other people consider, or any other breweries or anybody else. That's just Greg's scale. So, I consider this a triple. And it's a very, very well done triple. So if you've had this one, especially the new one here, 2018 edition of All Green Everything, from Other Half Brewing, let me know what you think. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.